Namaste friends, welcome to Bano Biology Center for True Learning. Here I request you to subscribe our YouTube channel Bano Biology Center for more videos and press the bell icon for latest notifications and updates. In previous video, we talked about curable sexually transmitted infections or diseases. In this video, we begin and learn the incurable sexually transmitted diseases. The first incurable sexually transmitted infection is hepatitis B. What is the pathogen causes hepatitis B? Hepatitis B virus, shortly HBV, is causes hepatitis B. It is responsible for hepatitis B infection in humans. Hepatitis B infection is the life-threatening infection. The organ which is infected by the hepatitis B virus is liver. The liver is the organ infected by the hepatitis B virus. Here, hepatitis B disease in two ways. It may be acute, it may be chronic. Hepatitis B virus causes both acute disease and chronic disease. Acute disease meant for short period of time. Chronic disease is meant for long period of time. After the stage of acute only, the infection will convert into chronic. How hepatitis B spreads predominantly? It commonly or predominantly spreads from mother to child. When mother is infected with the hepatitis B virus, obviously the same infection will transmitted to the baby at the time of birth. Are there any other means of spreading of hepatitis B infection? Yes, there are some other means of spreading of hepatitis B infection. So let us see. One is needle sticky injury. Second one is tattooing. How tattooing on the skin. Another one is piercing. Another one is when healthy person exposed to the infected blood or body fluids. When the blood is transfused from the infected person to healthy person, the infection will spread. And also when healthy person come in contact with the body fluids of infected person like saliva or menstrual fluid or vaginal fluid or seminal fluid also causes infection. Here I presented the structure of hepatitis B virus, so it is better to have the brief idea of the structure. This region is envelope. This portion is represented as nucleocapsid or viral capsid. There are different antigens present. So we move from outer to the inner. These orange colored structures are called hepatitis B surface antigen, shortly HBsAg. These blue colored circles represented as hepatitis B core antigen, shortly called HBcAg. Inner to hepatitis B core antigen, there are small block colored dot like structures are present. They are also called hepatitis B E antigen. There are three antigens. One is hepatitis B surface antigen, another one is hepatitis B core antigen, another one is hepatitis B E antigen. This part is envelope lipid. This is the envelope which contains the lipid. It is the brief about the structure of the hepatitis B virus. So what is the survival capacity of the virus? The hepatitis B virus can survive for 7 days outside the human body. Then incubation period of the hepatitis B virus is 75 days. This number is taken on average. Actually, the incubation period varies from 30 days to 180 days. On average, it will be 75 days only. Hepatitis B virus causes chronic liver infection. If not treated later, it will develop or converted into the cirrhosis or liver cancer. It is the critical complication, so we may not save the person from the infection. Cirrhosis means the structure of the liver become abnormal and it unable to perform its functions effectively, not effectively and improperly. Here liver cancer is called hepatocellular carcinoma. Then the children below 6 years of age with hepatitis B virus are most likely to develop chronic infections. Here the target age group is children who fall below the 6 years of age. How to found whether the infection is in chronic stage or acute stage? It is very simple. When hepatitis B surface antigens are present for at least 6 months in the person's body, so it is declared as chronic infection. How to identify the infection as acute? When there is a presence of hepatitis B surface antigen and immunoglobulin M antibody to the core antigen. In that case, we can declare that the infection existed is acute hepatitis B infection. These 2 points are very important to note down. In this picture, you can observe the normal liver and infected liver. It is a normal liver. When it is infected and is in the acute stage, the color of the liver is changed. By taking some modifications and by taking some precautions, we can recover the unhealthy liver into the healthy liver. But in case of chronic, this is the chronic liver. When the inflammation occur, it leads to the chronic. If not treated later on, it results into liver cirrhosis or liver cancer. It is a very complicated stage. We cannot recover the unhealthy liver. So this is another picture of the hepatitis B virus. Here immunoglobulin M antibodies produced in the infected person, so attached to the core antigen. This is the core antigen. By identifying these, so we can decide whether the infection is in the acute stage or chronic stage. Here one more important point. About 1% of persons with hepatitis B infection are also infected with the HIV, also human immunoviruses. If we check the persons affected with the HBV, so many of them also have chances of getting the HIV also. Next, what are the symptoms of hepatitis B? So this is the liver in a circle manner. So we are able to see and learn some symptoms. The liver infection leads to jaundice, accumulation of the bilirubins and biliverdins in the blood called jaundice. It causes fever. It leads to dark urine, pale poop. It causes nausea and vomiting. It also causes occurring of pain in the right side of the abdomen. Your liver is situated in the upper right side of the abdomen. In that place, the pain may experienced by the person. It causes joint pain. It causes hives. It is a common skin rash due to the some foods, some medications, or also due to the stress. It causes headache. It causes weakness and fatigue. It also causes losing of appetite. These are the few symptoms experienced by the person who is infected with hepatitis B virus. Next, How this virus or infection spreads? 1. Direct blood to blood contact, then from mother to the child during the birth. When use the infected household equipments like razors, toothbrushes or earrings, then tattoos, piercing, barbers, scarification, circumcision. I mean removal of the foreskin of the human penis is called circumcision practices. Another one is shearing of the needles. So used for the infected person. Then using of the unsterile healthcare practices like using the sugar testing machines and during the transfusion of some blood and also injections. So one of the most predominant cause is direct contact with sexual fluids. There is a risk during any type of sexual contact like vaginal sex, oral sex or anal sex. Are there any preventive measures? Yes, there are few preventive measures. By taking these precautions, we can maximally avoid the attacking of the infection. Number one, use only sterile equipment for injections and other medical procedures. Then before transfusion of the blood should be tested whether the infection is persist or not. Then having the hepatitis B vaccines and also practicing the safer sex. These are the few preventive measures. Let's come to the treatment. How to treat the HBV infection? There are some chemicals that are recommended by the World Health Organization. Also here medicines are classified into class B medications and class C medications. Telbudine and tenofovir are the class B medications used to treat the HBV, and lamivudine, adifovir, entecavir. These three are the class C medications also helps in treating the HBV infection. Here it is important to talk about the vaccination of hepatitis B. If we give the vaccination prior to the infection, so we can maximally avoid the getting of infection or exposed to the infection. Here the age, population, age, the primary vaccination doses, the time interval, I mean the time gap between any two vaccination, then booster doses, and how many total doses need to given to the person is very clearly mentioned in this table. The infants fall below 2 to 5 months need to take the 3 primary vaccination doses. The time interval between each dose must be not less than 1 month. There are booster doses. The one dose between 12 and 15 months need to given. The total doses should be 4. In case of infants fall between the 6 to 11 months, they must given with the 2 primary vaccination doses. The time gap should be not less than 2 months between 2 doses. There is also a booster dose, and total doses become 3. If the population is unvaccinated infants or children, I mean at the time of birth or in the earlier age of the infants, the vaccination didn't give. In that case, the 2 primary vaccination doses need to given. The time gap should be not less than 2 months. Then booster doses also need to given. The total doses become 3. Children that fall between 2 to 10 years of age must be given with the 2 primary vaccination doses. The time gap should not less than 2 months. The booster doses are not needed. The total doses will be 2. In case of the age group fall between 11 to 50, the 2 primary vaccination doses need to be given. The gap should be not less than 1 month. The primary, I mean booster doses are not required. The total doses must given is 2. This is about vaccination schedule. The another incurable sexually transmitted infection or disease is genital herpes. The herpes simplex virus is the pathogen causes this infection. This infection primarily spreads through the sexual contact. So either anal sex, vaginal sex, or oral sex. Here two types of herpes simplex viruses cause genital herpes. One is HSV1, which causes cold sores in the affected regions. Another type of virus is HSV2 virus, which causes genital herpes. So here the infection particularly on the sex organs or genital regions. Where to found the herpes simplex virus? This HSV virus can found in the person's body fluids like saliva. It is present in saliva, present in semen of the person, and present in the vaginal secretions of the person. Here the structure of herpes simplex virus is given. So it is very simplest structure. You can go through. Here two other diagrams give the clarity about the infection of the regions of a person's body. Come to the symptoms of genital herpes. So we study the symptoms separately in men and women. The first, the symptoms appears in women: pain during urination, fatigue, the small blisters that break open and cause painful sores, fever, headache, pain around the genitals, then itching. These are the symptoms in women. Come to the symptoms appearing in men. One is pain during urination, fatigue, small blisters that break open and cause painful sores, fever, headache, pain around genitals, then itching. Almost majority of the symptoms are common in both males and females. So how it spreads? It spreads through skin to skin contact. Then main cause is unprotected sex without taking any precautions. If infected person participate in the sex with the healthy person, obviously the virus easily transmitted. Another one is stress is also one of the reason to have the virus. Next, how to treat a herpes outbreak? Here the main characteristics of the infection is formation of the blisters and become sores in the mouth region or on the other parts of the person's body. Here use a ice pack to help lessen pain. Then use antiviral medication and reduce the stress. Then don't touch or scratch the sores frequently. Then use the antiviral therapy creams. Then always clean the sores formed on the body places. And another one is reducing the stress. So these preventive measures can help the person from this kind of outbreaks or painful sores. Next, come to the treatment of herpes. There are three drugs available to treat the infection. One kind is Jovirax, Sativig, another kind Femvir, third kind Valtrex. By using these chemicals, we can maximally prevent the infection of herpes. Along with these chemicals, the doses of each chemical is given for treating the infection. So by pausing the video, you can read and learn the different doses of these three kind of drugs. Thank you for watching this video.